What's up, guys and girls? This is Tim here, and welcome back to Judgement Apocalypse Survival Simulation. So, if you're a little bit confused, don't be, I will explain all, but we are back on day 99, and I am back with my resurrected crew. And the point of this episode, if you didn't get it from the title, whatever I came up with for the title anyway, isn't to have another go at the Hellgate or anything like that. It's to basically come back and have a little bit of chat about the last series, but and have a look at some of the things which I have repeatedly said I know in the game, yet I totally ignore, and see whether any of those will actually be of any benefit. Unfortunately, I've actually already recorded this episode, and there was a bit of a painful problem with the video recording, so although I have an hour of me talking, I don't have the video to go along with it, so that's kind of annoying. So rather than sort of try and redo it and fake it, because there were some kind of revelations to me in that episode, which it's going to be kind of awkward to try and either do as a let's look at all these things, even though I know exactly which ones or I know the ones which are of most interest to me, or I kind of pretend that I haven't done it before and then fake surprise when it turns out that some of the ones could be quite useful. I just thought I would hold my hands up and just basically do a little quick one where we just have a quick look at some of the items. And I sort of set some standards or some views for the next series and what I might do differently. Because here's the thing, I've moaned and bitched about this game a lot. However, and I have said this before, but I really want to reiterate it right now. I don't think that I'm a good player at this game. You know, I know it could easily come across as, you know, me standing on my pedestal saying how freaking amazing I am, and the fact that I can't get anywhere is all the game's fault and all the devs' fault and all that kind of stuff. But that's not what I think. Genuinely isn't what I think. When I watch back my episodes and I do my editing, I make loads and loads of mistakes, and there's loads of things that I could do better, and some of which I've hopefully learned some lessons I can take into the next series. But yeah, I've never claimed on any of my videos to be an awesome player. So if you're thinking that, and you're thinking that I'm putting all the blame for my failures in this game onto the devs, that's really not the case. That's really not the case. And I did the Hellgate episode, and as things stand right now, it's kind of uploading as we speak, and will be coming out soon. But I've ummed and ahed about actually releasing it, just because if you've watched it, you'll know that I'm fairly, well, let's just say I get fairly shitty in some of the attempts, and I recorded that before the developers got in touch with me. They actually left a comment on one of my videos, and I don't know what it is. You know, obviously that it kind of made them very real, and it made me kind of feel guilty about the fact that I just sit and record and essentially slag off that game, when I'm kind of doing it to a degree for comic effect. I'm kind of doing it to a degree because I genuinely feel frustrated with it. But you know, I've said it again before, and I'll say it again. I like this game, I do, and I wouldn't be recording on it if it wasn't popular, just because there'd be no point in me recording, you know, quite a small game like this if no one wanted to watch it. But I still would be playing it. So anyway, so that's kind of that. God, I don't know where else I was going to go with this conversation. Yeah, so I've made I've written a list of 3 items. The first one is not good at games, so I think I've fully explained the fact that I'm not good at this game. Anyway, so the next thing is we're going to have a look at is items. And as I say, in the last episode, I actually went out and did a couple of missions and tried out some of the items, but I'm not going to bother doing that this time, just because I want this to be a shorter video. So, because to be honest, as soon as I finish recording this, I'm going to take the dogs out for a quick walk, and then I'm going to crack on recording the next series. So, the sooner I can get to that, the better, I think. But essentially, there's a couple of things I want to point out. You know, and this stems from, as I say, I have spent an entire series going, there's loads of things in this game that I don't know anything about, you know, and I don't use them. And then going, I don't get this game, I can't understand it, I can't figure out how to play it. And it keeps jarring my mind. It's like, well, maybe there's some of the things that you're completely ignoring might have something to do with the fact that you don't know what the fuck you're doing on this game. So, hence the point of this. So, first one, and we actually came across it in the Hellgate episode, and the developers actually mentioned it, which is that the way the awareness system works is, because I actually got an attack at 10%. So it's not a case of when that fills up you get attacked. What it's a case of, you'll get attacked either randomly or set period. I haven't quite figured out what it is. And basically, I'm just going to let them run, and whoa, they are loud. Just so they can actually make up some of the items, maybe. yeah, the sort of the ferocity of the attack, the number of demons you're going to get is based on the percentage rate rather than that being determining when the attack's going to happen. So there is this ritual in here, so which I used on the last one, which lowers my awareness by 50%, and I think that's actually quite important. And it's, you know, it costs a bit of holy water, but holy water is not too much to make. Herbs, you can see at this stage, I don't have to worry about that. And holy words, it's only 8, and they're not too difficult to get hold of. So I think in the next series, I certainly need to be utilising that so that I don't get attacks that are like 100% on day 70 plus kind of thing, because those attacks are massive and they just take a long time to get through because I have to sort of retry a lot of times. So yeah, keep an eye on that. We're going to be trying to use that more in the next series. The other ones, I don't know the details of this one in terms of whether it, like, how long it lasts for or what rate it improves, but I find with some of these upgrades, the cost of it, so that 35 metals is quite a stinger, given that, you know, resources of that kind get pretty tight later on. So I don't know, but we'll keep an eye on some of those things and we'll see what we can do with them. So items wise, I had a little bit of a play around with the sacred sword, and it's quite effective. It does a lot of damage, and it's got a pretty decent attack speed. And it's possible that I could find a strategy that would incorporate that. I just kind of have this feeling of running somebody towards, say, a fallen angel or something like that. I just feel like they're gonna get so much damage that they're only ever gonna be able to take out one person, maybe, or two people before they either die or have to retreat. But maybe if you can gear someone up to a point where they're really sort of tanky and they've got the best armor and all that kind of stuff, you might be able to make use of that. But as I say, it's one of the things that it's very powerful. I think it only took like 3 strikes to take down a demon or something like that. So potential, you know, I've ignored the melee side of things altogether, really, because, you know, as I said in the last episode, I feel like guns are a more advanced technology and that it should probably be used in these kind of circumstances. But speed it up. So I don't know. I don't know whether I'm going to use melee in the next series or not. I may do. I don't know. I may do, but as I say, the sword is balls. Okay, this is just, they were just upset because they're just working slow. I can live with that. So yeah, so melee might be coming to the next one, but I don't know. This is quite interesting, this artifact, max health plus 50. Again, if I was going to do like a melee type person, I might give them that. You know, obviously this gives them slightly more health, and the holy armor that you can find is, I think, 50 health, is it? Who's got one of them? You've got one, haven't you? 30 health. So with the right person and a decent, you know, set of that and one of them, that's going to give them, you know, 180 health. You know, that's not bad. So it's worth considering for the future. The other things are, this hex doll is quite useful, I think, mainly because of the range. If you look on the range of it, it's actually 10, and the duration is 30 seconds. 50% minus accuracy, 50% minus attack speed, and it's not difficult to make. 30 scraps and 5 demonite is cheap as hell. I had to play with that, and I felt like I could use that out of range of most things and get back, so there could be some use to that. Again, it's going to require a little bit more. Cook the elixir. The elixir is immediate. Okay, what was the elixir made out of? I don't know. Anyway, doesn't matter. So yeah, I'm going to try and probably use that a little bit in the next series, although I say I'm not 100% sure as to how I'd incorporate that into a strategy. No assistance to anyone, please. Can we use the thing yet? Make me enough of that. I really don't want to get attacked. In fact, I'm going to just slow things down because I'm not actually planning on making any of these things. Yeah, so that's good. This one, I'm going to come back to that one. Molotovs are very cheap, but again, I don't really like the throwing things too much because I feel like, you know, like with the grenade, I just feel like it sort of, I don't know. I don't feel like the amount of damage it does, unless you get it perfect, is necessarily worth the risk to the person who's throwing it. So, you know, in base attacks, I've used them before, most of which I think are probably off camera, but normally I will send literally one of my lowest kind of level players who I don't really mind if I lose, and they're almost basically just suicide bombing. They just get as close to a big group of enemies as they can and try and throw the grenade right into the middle of them. And it's, you know, it's done some damage, don't get me wrong, but as I say, that person is either massively injured or dies as a result. So, and so, yeah, I don't know. But like I say, they're not expensive. They're pretty cheap, so worth considering. But I say probably won't appear too much. This one is quite powerful as well, but I don't feel like it's as good as this. I mean, it's got the AoE, the area of effect, which I assume would mean that it will. You can use it around. You can use it on multiple enemies at once, but obviously it hurts your own person. So whoever uses that, assuming they get affected as well, is probably going to have to instantly pull back out of the way. And obviously we're only having 6 people on the map. That could be a problem. So not sure. I kind of decided when I recorded my last episode I wasn't going to mess around with that one too much, and I instead would favour the voodoo doll. And then this one is similar. It's kind of basically halfway between these. It's got a slightly longer range, than that one, but obviously a lot shorter than that one. And it's more, actually it's the same effect as that one, more effect than that one, but doesn't last as long. So, and obviously it only takes wool and scraps to make, so it's pretty cheap. But to be honest, as I say, Demonite, 790 Demonite, and I don't really use Demonite that much. So yeah, those, it's probably that one and that one, but I would favour that one as soon as I can get to it, basically. And then the other one is this, and this is actually quite important. This is a protection spell, and I should have really been using this up to now. Materials wise, pretty cheap. 25 scraps, 5 holy water, 5 metal. That's pretty good. It has 2 uses, which I don't think. No, they do have 2 uses. That one has. See, that's another thing. That's 2 uses versus 1 use for that. I didn't even notice that last time. So yeah, I think that one's pretty awesome. I will certainly be using that one. But yeah, this is 2 uses as well. And let's have a look at it. It's 50% evasion plus 1 armor. So that means they're going to miss, or when you activate that, in theory, the demon should miss 1 out of every 2 shots. Or 1 out of 2 every extra shots, because they'll already have some evasion based on their skills and other gear. I say not too expensive to make. So my thinking, and it's got 2 uses again. So my thinking is that is going to be quite important. In fact, what we need is people that can tank shots. We need people that can be at the front, distracting and sort of controlling the demons a little bit, while other people at the back are sort of raining down fire on them. Obviously, these could be, well, I was going to say, oh no, sorry, yeah, they could be. I was going to say they could be combined with the grenade or Molotovs. And they can be, because the person who gets the effect of this isn't the person carrying it. So they could still give them that and then run in with a grenade and maybe do some good work with that. But yeah, I feel like, I mean, it's kind of thing where if you had 2 people with swords who are fully sort of armoured up and then you put this on them, they could possibly run in and do some damage. But I just feel like that would be a suicide mission to a degree. And the sword is, 50 composites. So, if it gets lost because someone dies, I can't just, although I could maybe sacrifice people, I couldn't sacrifice that sword every time. Losing that would be quite a hit to the colony. So that's kind of, I don't know about that one still, but this one definitely using, and this one probably using as well. It's kind of a shame that you have to sacrifice, obviously each person can only carry 1. I understand the reason for that. It kind of makes you have to make choices, but there's all this good stuff that they've got here. Obviously I have to sacrifice it for other stuff which I'd like to keep. So no footers attack. So we should be ready to do our ritual now. Do the ritual quickly just in case we get attacked. In all my kind of, I don't want to use any of that stuff, there is actually some stuff in there that is useful. Do I think it would have made a difference in the last episode? I probably not, to be honest. It could have made me a little bit more successful in some of the battles, but I still think the end result would have been the same. It probably would have just been a slightly longer episode. That being said, the one thing I do think is going to make a big difference in the next series is focusing on leveling up my characters, because I actually went into the Hellgate with pretty low level characters. I mean, let's have a quick look at who I took. I had Liz, who was level 9, so she's obviously my top person. I had Eric, who's only a level 4. I took John, who kept dying all the time. He's level 3. I took Ross, who's level 4. Holly's level 7, so she's pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and July, who is level 5. So actually my people were not that high level, and I think to have any chance of getting through the Hellgate, I need people that are like level 9 and 10, stuff like that. So that's going to be a focus in the next series as well, is trying to have a kind of like a standing army, basically, where I will have 5, 6 people who are my main scavengers and killers, and they will literally just spend their time preparing for that, whilst the rest of the people sort of get on with the colony and trying to keep the food and water going and all that sort of stuff. So something we're going to try in the next series, but that's that's something for another day. So I think we're going to start to call this episode to an end. So this was just a little one, just to give you a bit of an update on where I am and some thoughts. It's a pretty quiet one. So the next video that comes out on Judgment will be a start of a new series of sorts. So what am I going to tell you about that? No, I'll let you wait until that comes out and I can explain it to you. I have mentioned it before, I think, but I'm going to just wait and I'll do the this is what this series is about at the beginning of that one. But I think for now, guys, that's going to do it. So we got to bid one last fond farewell to this colonist. This is, think of this like the Lost, last episode of the Lost, where they were oh shit! Spoiler alert from 60 million years ago, or however long ago it was that Lost finished. But you know, where it's sort of, they weren't really dead. It was all a dream, and they're living on a beach or in a church or something. I don't know. I don't really remember what the end of that was, but that'll do it, guys. So I'm gonna wrap this episode up. I hope you'll check back for the next series. But for now, guys, I've been Timmy, and this has been Wondering. No, fuck me. I'm not feeling top of the world today. Let's do that again, shall we? I'm Wondering Timmy, and this is Judgment Apocalypse Survival Simulation. I hope you enjoyed this little episode, and I hope you'll check back for the next one.